Hi everyone, it's me Teacher J and welcome to our channel. So for today's video, ang pag-aaralan po natin ay Pythagorean Theorem. What is this Pythagorean Theorem? The theorem states that the square of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of its leg. So if we are dealing with Pythagorean Theorem, it's all about right triangle. So let's consider this right triangle ACB, right angle at C. So angle A, opposite side of this angle that is small, that is CB or segment CB, or we name as small letter A. And angle B, opposite side of this that is side AC, let's name as small letter B. And this right angle C, opposite side of this, that is AB, and that is our hypotenuse or the longest side. And that's named as side C. Okay, so the formula is C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Or if you are going to find the hypotenuse, which is our C, or C is equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay? So, meron pong mga proving Pythagorean theorem sa YouTube. Pwede nyo pong i-search po. So, let's have the converse of Pythagorean theorem. Itong converse na ito ay true din po siya. In a triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the legs. Then the triangle is a right triangle and the right angle is opposite to the longest side. So let's consider this right triangle ACB. So yung natin, yung formula is C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Or if you are going to find the hypotenuse, which is yung C, is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared. Sabi niya, yung right angle daw po natin, which is angle C, ang opposite side po neto, that is AB, or that is the longest side, and let's name as C, or the hypotenuse C. Okay? So, let's have this example. We are going to apply the theorem. How long is the hypotenuse of a right triangle whose legs have lengths 12 centimeters and 6 centimeters? So, let's have this illustration. Ang hinahanap daw yung length ng ating hypotenuse. So, yung legs natin are 16 centimeters, okay, and 12 centimeters. So, yung hypotenuse po, itong segment na ito. Okay? So, solve natin yung problem. By using the formula, C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, or you can use this formula, C is equal to square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay? So, by substitution, itong 16 na ito, 16 na ito ay B. Okay? Gawin natin B, and then yung 12 ay gawin natin A. Okay? So, by substitution, we have C squared is equal to 12 square plus 16 square. Simplify this. We have C squared is equal to 12 square plus 16 square, that is 400. And then, to solve for C, we are going to apply square root property or extracting square root on both sides of the equation. We have square root of C squared is equal to square root of 400. And then square root of 400, that is 20. Or square root of C squared, that is C. Square root of 400, that is 20. So, the length of the hypotenuse is 20 units. Let's have another example. In a triangle PQR, angle Q is a right angle. If PR is 8 and PQ is 4, find QR. So, based from the illustration, we have PQ here, which is 4. PR is 8, and then we are asked to find QR. So, again, we have this formula, PR squared, that is our hypotenuse, or square of PR, is equal to square of QR plus square of PQ. Okay, so parang ano lang din yan, parang c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, so by substitution, we have yung PR natin ay 8, so we have square of 8 is equal to square of QR plus square of 4. And then, simplify natin yan. Square of 8, that is 64, is equal to square of QR, that is square of QR, plus square of 4, that is 16. Then, simplify natin yan, or simply transpose positive 16 to left side. We have 64 minus 16 is equal to square of QR. And then, 64 minus 16, that is 48. So, we have a square of QR is equal to 48. To solve for QR, we are going to apply square root property or extracting square root on both sides of the equation. We have square root of QR squared is equal to square root of 48. 48 is not a perfect square, but it is factorable. So, the factors of 48 are 16 and 3. Okay, and then simplify. QR now is equal to square root of 16, that is 4. Square root of 3, that is square root of 3. So, QR now is 4 square root of 3. Let's have this example. Is a triangle whose sides have lengths 8, 10, and 15 a right triangle? So, ang gagawin natin dito ay prove natin kung yung 8, 10, and 15 ba na length ng ating sides ng ating triangle, kung right triangle ba siya. So, let's have this formula. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So, yung C squared, yung C natin dyan, yun, of course, yun yung malaking length or measurement ng ating sides ng ating triangle. So, by substitution, we have 15 squared is equal to yung A natin, that is 8. So, we have square of 8 plus yung B natin, that is 10. So, we have square of 10. Simplify natin yan. Square of 15, that is 225, is equal to square of 8, that is 64, plus square of 10, that is 100. Simplify this. 225 is equal to 164. So, 225 is not equal to 164. Therefore, the triangle whose sides 8, 10, and 15 is not a right triangle. Okay? So, dapat equal po ito para masabi nating right triangle yan. Okay? So, let's have example number 4. A rectangle gate whose dimensions are 3 meters by 2 meters is to be braced with a steel by connecting opposite corners. How long must the steel be? So, let's consider this illustration. Ito yung rectangular gate po natin. Okay? And then, we have brace po dito yung with a steel by connecting the opposite corners. So, ito yung opposite corners po natin. Okay? And then, yung length natin is 3 meters. And then, the width is 2 meters. Okay? Hanapin natin yung length ng ating steel. Okay? So, by using the formula, we have C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Yung steel po natin yan, yun yung hypotenuse po natin. Okay? Since rectangle po ito, ibig sabihin right triangle po ito. Okay? So, by substitution, we have C squared is equal to ang A natin, which is 2. So, we have a square of 2 plus yung B natin is 3. So, we have a square of 3. And then, simplify. We have C squared is equal to 13. By applying square root property, we have square root of C squared plus square root of 13. Square root of C squared, that is C, is equal to square root of 13, that is square root of 13. Therefore, the steel or the length of the steel must be square root of 13 meters. Let's have an example number 5. A 20-foot ladder is leaning against a vertical wall. If the foot of the ladder is 8 feet from the wall, how high does the ladder reach? So, let's consider this illustration. So, this is the wall, and this is the ladder po. Okay, leaning against the vertical wall. And then, yung measurement ng ating ladder, which is 20 feet. And then, yung ladder po, 8 feet from the wall. So, ibig sabihin, from ladder to, the foot of the ladder to the, dun sa ating vertical wall, which is, or measures 8 feet. And then, we are asked to find the height. Okay? Yung gaano kataas po nung vertical wall hanggang dun sa na-reach po ng ating ladder. Okay? So, let's consider or let's name this as B. Okay? So, again, by using this formula, yung ladder po natin, ito yung C natin. And then, yung 8 feet na yan, this is letter A. So, ang hinahanap natin dito yung B. So, by substitution, we have 20 squared is equal to 8 squared plus B squared. Then, simplify, we have square of 20, that is 400, is equal to square of 8, that is 64, plus B squared. Then, simplify, 400 minus 64 is equal to B squared. And then, we have 336 is equal to B squared. And then, applying square root property, we have square root of B squared is equal to square root of 336. 336 is not a perfect square, right? So, again, square root of B squared, that is B, is equal to the factors of 336, which one of the factors is a perfect square, that is 16 and 21. So, square root of 16, that is 4. Square root of 21, that is square root of 21. So, yung B natin is 4 square root of 21. Therefore, 4 square root of 21 feet does the ladder reach. So, if you have questions or clarifications, just type lang po yung questions po ninyo sa ating comment sections. Or kung may isasuggest po kayo na topic, you can type your, i-type nyo lang po yung problem or yung topic po dun sa ating comment sections para mabigyan po natin ng discussions. Thanks for watching. Keep safe and God bless.